our third release video. We have two new faces over here, Patrick and Mirna. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So, as you may know, what we do on those calls, we go over some of the features that we worked on for the past month. So, in this case, it's the month of November. We go over the feature, we go over the demo for that feature, and then of course, if you need any more information, we also have the change log that would also be part of this part of the documentation that would be released with the video. And so, without further ado, I'll just get started with the first three features that I'm gonna demo, and then followed by that, we're gonna have Sharif demo two of his features as well. So. For my features, number one, we're going to be discussing username login. Number two, we're going to be going over managing members from the UI, so self-serve for member management. We'll go over that in a bit. And then number three, we're going to go over our brand new GraphQL API endpoints. And then we'll hand that over to Sharif. He'll be discussing his points. And yeah, so let's get started.
Awesome.
All right. So, which one would we be discussing first, Abdullah?
The username. So let me share my screen. Okay. So as you guys know, before our end users were only able to log in with an email and password. But then, of course, with a lot of requests coming in from the clients, we also added the ability for the end users to be able to log in with a username. So in this case, you guys can see my screen. I have an account, Abdullah plus username at palcor.com. That's my email. But what I'm going to do is also add the username. So let me just call it test username 1 and submit. So as soon as I am logged out, as you can see here on the login pop-up, I can use the same username that I just created. And let me just add the same password that I had on that account. And then I'm logged back in. So a lot of clients migrate over their usernames as well. So that can so our clients can start off directly with only usernames. That's fine. And yeah, so username is unique across each account. Two of your end users cannot have the same username. So that's the feature in a nutshell.
I guess that's useful for like people who are used to using their usernames, like if they have a common username across all of their websites instead of getting lost in between the emails.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And this is something that we've heard of, a need for it for many clients that are migrating their users over. So it's good that we offer different type of authentication now. Instead of only using email addresses, we know a lot of customers may not have an email address. Definitely useful here.
Absolutely. Okay, so on to the second point. So managing members from the UI or self-serve member management. So I just want to preface this with basically, let's say I am the owner of a company and I go on a website, on a newspaper website or magazine, and I want to purchase a subscription and grant access to all of my employees to be able to consume the content. So what I'm going to do over here is subscribe to a membership subscription. In this case, on the back end, let's say this subscription or this plan has a seat capacity of 10 or 15 people. So I click on next. Let me just quickly create that subscription. So once that's been completed, I can go into my subscriptions. I can click on manage members. And as you can see here, I can enter a comma separated list of emails. So let me add Sharif at pelcor.com and Patrick at pelcor.com. So I'm going to invite you two to be a part of my subscription. So as soon as you guys log in, your current status is pending, but you two just received an email to your inbox. As soon as you guys log in or register onto my site, your status is going to become active and you're going to be part of my membership. So as soon as my membership expires, you're going to lose access. If it renews, you're going to maintain access as well. And of course, as part of the actions over here, I can remove, let's say, Sharif from the list of members. So I revoke his access. And of course, I can add more people up until the seat capacity.
Nice. And I did receive the email.
Okay, great.
That's fantastic. So
And
like
does-
when I click on the accept invitation in my email, it automatically makes me like part of the subscription or the membership that you. That's quite nice.
Exactly.
And I assume removing will remove the user automatically.
Yes, exactly. So then you're not gonna have access to my subscription anymore.
Okay.
That's very.
And this enhancement versus how was it being done previously? Like how does this streamline? Like how would you like to add a member? Previously, you had to do it through the platform. You didn't like.
Yeah, exactly. So it was only available to admins on Pelcor.
Okay.
So you would have had to send out those emails, and then the Pelcor admins would have had to add those members to your subscription.
That's nice. Definitely a step in the right direction for self-serve. So yeah,
Absolutely.
amazing.
No, it's a nice and it's a clean interface to manage your members. I can see anyone who has a membership or a site license being able to manage their users would benefit greatly from this.
Yeah, exactly. And this adds value to our clients and users, right? They'll be able to manage their own members. So yeah, so that's managing the members from the UI. Okay, so moving on to the third topic from my side, and that's the final topic, GraphQL. So that's a brand new set of endpoints that we've introduced, or it's actually one endpoint that has multiple queries, as we'll see in a bit. So let me go over to my Postman. So over here, okay, so the reason why we implemented GraphQL, first of all, is because it's resource efficient. Of course, it's also an API endpoint. It's more developer friendly, and we're a developer friendly platform. We make sure that our clients' developers can implement whatever they want using our technology. And of course, we internally use this technology as well. GraphQL is resource efficient, and not just that, you can select exactly what you want in the API response. So just a quick demo over here. So we have our endpoint, which you will be seeing in our documentation very soon. So I want to query all the subscriptions on my platform or on my site. So I added my site ID over here, and I want to get only the first 6 subscriptions. I'm going to sort them by the created at in descending order. So the most recent 6. I want to include the site, the subscription ID. I want to include the customer that made that subscription, their ID, email, first name, and last name. As soon as I send that request, you're going to see that we just created a subscription for that membership using Abdullah Plus username at pelcor.com. You can see I have my first name and last name, and you can see I have 6 records over here. So just to explain to you how this would be a bit more resource efficient, and then our clients would be able to customize this more so. And then in the future, of course, there's a lot of application for this, which I'll explain to you in a bit. So let's say I don't want to select first name and last name, right? I just hit send, and as you can see here, first name and last name are not included in the resource. And if you take a look at our RESTful APIs, you're going to always retrieve a really long list of response with a lot of data that you don't necessarily need or use. So in this case, for example, a future use case would be, let's say you want to customize an export for a client, rather than selecting exactly which field you need from the database manually, what you could do is just add a checkbox, um, make sure that, okay, they can select ID, email, first name, last name, they can select whatever they want. That's how we build our query, and then we create that export. That's one application that will be coming soon to the platform. And then there's, of course, many more, and just adds more flexibility for our clients as well.
Okay, and is this, like, I've heard a lot of things about GraphQL. Is this particularly useful in like things like analytics, reporting, like customize, like enhancing the performance of dashboard, whatnot?
Exactly. So because it's resource efficient, when we're retrieving all the data from the database, we wouldn't need to go through absolutely every data point that we retrieve, right? We would only select exactly what we want. So let's
Okay.
say in the case that we wanna see see all the emails of the latest customers that we have. You wouldn't need to get all of the customers' information. You would simply just need to get the email.
That's awesome. That's exciting. And then the fact that you said, like, so if I go to the platform at some point, like a piece of future application for this, if I go and I'm staring at the customer screen, for example, we've heard some comments that not all people will use the data points that are in the export. So the fact that I want to extract exactly what I'm looking for is a potential improvement, and also on the performance side, it's a big step. So that's exciting to hear.
Exactly.
And if I can jump in here, I can just say it seems like you're building the infrastructure for what's to come, for the next step. So it seems like you may have something, that's cooking in the oven, and you're just building the structure for the oven to allow it to operate.
Yeah, exactly. And not just that. So that's for, so again, we use this internally, and we're going to be building features using our own GraphQL endpoints. But then also, I want to see what our clients can implement as well, right? What's cooking for our clients? They can also leverage such endpoints, and yeah, I'm sure we're going to see some great things.
Agreed.
That's awesome.
Okay, so that wraps it up from my side. I'm gonna hand it over to Sharif to go over his points.
Awesome. Okay, let me share my screen. So I'm gonna be presenting two features today to complement the release. Let me go ahead and do that. So we have two new small features that we're introducing with this release. The first of which is Spanish language support. So in addition to French, English, and even Korean, we also have now Spanish as a setting that you can use for your website. So if you go here and then you click on Spanish, this basically changes the sandbox. This basically changes the website that all of the components that we're using with the website to Spanish. And here's a small example of what it would look like. So essentially, it would reflect to all of the components of our Pelcrew elements. It also extends to the all of the back end things like the error messages, the validation messages that you would see, as well as the error codes that would appear to you, so that it can cater to your Spanish speaking audience. This helps you essentially reach a larger audience, establishing some sort of a competitive advantage to cater to your clients or customers, and it also has a better effect on your search engine optimization whenever you're using a language that caters to this audience. So this is one thing we're excited about. The second piece of enhancement that we have is to cater to regulatory and compliance efforts. We wanted to introduce the concept of tax identification number. So your customers might need to use their invoices for any compliance reporting or whatnot. So in that case, whenever this compliance effort touches on taxes, they would have their own tax identification number that would tie into the invoices. So right now, if you go to the platform and you go to any of your customers, let's say I'm going to go to Mr. Chandler Bing here. Right now, if you want to edit the customer, or if you're even adding a new customer, you'll have the new parameter here called tax identification number. This would, once edited, which can be edited either from here, or if you go to the Pelcro elements, if the customer wants to add it on their own, all they need to do is, for me, all they need to do is go to their profile, edit their profile, and then they would supply the tax identification number here, and it would reflect on the platform. By default, once the customer wants to view their invoice, the invoice would now contain the tax identification number that they're supplied here, so that it can be used for any record keeping or any tax compliance efforts. And I know for a fact that some of our clients have this as a requirement to their invoice. So there's a sort of a federal authorities or tax authorities that are either locally or internationally that would require this piece of information that is available on the invoices. So yeah,
So
that's good.
here it seems like you're allowing users to not only add a tax identification numbers for themselves, also
Mhm.
edit it, but then once that's populated, if I just purchase anything, I can see this tax identification number on an invoice.
Exactly. On the invoice, on either on the platform side, you can see it on the customer level, or on the invoice in the invoice PDF that gets sent to the customer, they can see it as well, and they're free to edit it at any point in time.
And is this number, is it, only numbers? Is it alphanumeric? Does it support different types of
Great question. So right now it doesn't have any restrictions since it's just newly introduced to the platform, but um, I think in most regulatory authorities it's usually a number.
Mhm.
So yeah, for now it accepts numbers. It also accepts alphanumeric actually. So in case there are record keeping authorities that use letters in the value for the tax identification number, or TIN as it's well known, then yeah, it accepts it as well. And it's also surfaced in our API. So right now, if you're creating or updating customers through the API, it's also something that you can update or on the corresponding customer record.
Okay,
Awesome.
great. Thanks, Sharif.
Pleasure.
So that wraps it up for us. Hope you guys learned a bit about what we released the past November. Of course, stay tuned for the next release, the December release, and of course, that one's going to be a lighter one. So we're going to be wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from now. And then we'll meet you again for the December release right after the New Year. And yeah, have a good one. And bye
And
bye.
don't forget to check out our YouTube videos for further tutorial videos to all of our newly introduced features. And stay tuned to our Instagram pages as well as our LinkedIn posts for more information and updates on everything Pelcro. Happy New Year.
Happy holidays from Pelcro.
Yeah.